The general pressed the rocket launch button. Unbeknownst to him, the circuitry below wasn't even connected to power. Embarrassed, the scientist hastily lifted the control panel cover and pressed the button himself. It turned out the general's appearance was purely ceremonial, as the rocket carrying the satellite successfully lifted off. Everyone in the room beamed with pride, but in the next instant, the flag that had stood on the moon for over 50 years was accidentally knocked over by China. Only then did America realize Chinese aerospace technology had overtaken them through an unconventional leap. Moreover, China had already established a fully operational lunar base. In stark contrast, America's base remained stuck in the Stone Age, literally just growing potatoes. The massive gap left the general utterly humiliated. He immediately convened an emergency meeting to regain face. The hardline faction insisted the flag incident was an act of war, arguing they had every right to nuke the Chinese facility, but doing so would violate the Outer Space Treaty. The moderate faction proposed simply removing the Chinese flag, but they couldn't even locate it. While the officials bickered endlessly, China conveniently released internal footage of their base. The equipment was not only comprehensive, but luxuriously furnished, complete with queen-size beds. The general, livid at the sight, immediately ordered astronauts to bring wrenches and flatten the entire Chinese facility. On their way there, however, they encountered Chinese astronauts face face. The latter politely extended a hand in greeting, but filled with guilt. The Americans had no time for pleasantries. They floored the accelerator and sped away. After finally locating the base, they realized Chinese infrastructure was no joke. Their puny wrenches were woefully inadequate. After damaging a few peripheral structures, they gleefully loaded back into their vehicle and headed home. En route, they encountered the Chinese astronauts again. This time, the Americans were secretly amused, fantasizing about how their counterparts would eventually come crying to them for aid once the damage was discovered. But before they could fully indulge in this delusion, they spotted something shocking: their own base had been renovated.